This is my first review. I'm really excited to share with you guys some of the newest spin mops that are out there. So I bought a whole bunch of them and I want to figure out which one is actually the best bang for your buck. Go. I got the walkable MopNado spin mop. I have the Hurricane 360 mop here. And then this one is the Spin and Go Pro. And then the one on the bottom here is the O-Cedar Easy Ring. And then this one is the Twist and Shout mop. So let's get to unboxing these and let me show you what they look like. I'm going to show you guys what's inside the Hurricane Spin Mop box. We have one of these mop heads, the actual bucket, and it looks like 3 pieces for the mop handle. Now this is the Spin and Go Pro. We're going to see what's in the We have another mop head looking thing and this bucket, and it looks like 3 pieces for the mop handle here. This is the O-Cedar Easy Ring. We got the bucket with a mop head and this, I don't know what that is. I'm sure we'll find out. And this handle. So this is the MopNado. I bought the extra extension because I figured I would need it. This one comes with 2 mop heads, this mop connector thing, a brush, the 2 pieces for the handle, and this is the bucket. This is the Twist and Shout mop. I ordered the extra extension for this one too. So there's that piece. It comes with 2 of these mop heads. This is the bucket. And these 2 pieces for the handle.
Here you go.
Alright guys, I want to show you how much water fits in each bucket because I think that's kind of important. So these are gallon bottles. So each one of these mop buckets has a line that says the maximum water level, and so I'm only going to fill it up to that level there. So this is a little bit less than, it's probably 1 3/4 of a gallon of water. That's the Twist and Shout mop. So this is the O-Cedar Easy Ring, and as you can see, it's about a little less than 1.5 gallons. Okay, this is the Spin and Go Pro, and it's the same as the O-Cedar, so a little bit less than 1.5 gallons of water. Alright, this one is the MopNado. I used 2 gallons of water already, and you can see there's about a half gallon more that I could fit in here, but I don't have any more water bottles. This is the Hurricane 360 mop. As you can see, this one's empty. It's about 1.5 gallons capacity. This is the Hurricane 360 mop. The handle comes in 3 pieces. It doesn't feel super strong. If you look here, this bottom part is plastic with a screw, and this part is plastic too. I don't know how durable that's going to be, but I guess only time will tell. If you look here, it's about 11 inches in diameter for the mop head. I don't know if you can see that. This is the bucket here. This is the smallest in capacity for water. It's a clear plastic. This part is plastic. It seems a little bit flimsy. And then this one is different from some of these where it's the foot pedal and it spins. I don't know if I like that because I'm cleaning up wet floors and I don't want to be stepping on this thing. Also, it doesn't have any wheels, and it has just this plastic handle, which also seems pretty flimsy. And then one of the reviews was talking about how it doesn't have this thing in the water part that kind of spins it. So it's just pretty much a bucket with this salad spinner attachment. Alright, in all fairness to all of the mops, I'm going to rate it on how dry we can get it. That's the point. 10 is going to be the most wet, like sopping wet, and 1 is going to be super dry. So this is the Hurricane Spin Mop, and we're going to try to see how dry we can get this. be enough. As you can see, this is still dripping water, so I would rate this on a 7 of the still wet scale. So this one is the Twist and Shout mop. This one we ordered the extension handle. And this one, the shaft is like aluminum. It's not like a stainless steel, so I don't know how durable that's going to be. Also, this bottom part is plastic with the screw. So, I mean, we'll see how long this can last. Also, just so you can see, this mop head is actually big. It's about almost 14 inches, 13.5 inches wide. So this is definitely bigger, on the bigger side. So the handle on the Twist and Shout mop has this flip lock, which I like. It's a good idea. But the only thing is it's a little bit stiff, and so I don't know how that's going to be over the long term. And then I can already see kind of right here, there's already this stress marks or like scratches. So I don't know how long this is going to hold. So the Twist and Shout map had one of the bigger capacities. It's about 1 3/4 gallons. Again, this is also one that doesn't have that washing machine thing in the bucket water part. So it's just a bucket with the spin dry mop. We're going to do the dry test again, 10 being the most dry, 1 being wet. So while I was using it, I mean, this part kind of wobbles a lot, and it's plastic too, so I don't know how that's going to hold up. But the bucket itself seems like a standard bucket, and the handle is on the sturdier side of what I've seen. And you know what? Actually, this is pretty dry. I would give this maybe a 3 on the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the most dry and 10 being wet. This is the Spin and Go Pro model. This is also an aluminum handle, it looks like, but this one's got this nifty little lock, which I've never seen before, so that's pretty neat. It's also plastic, but this one seems a little bit thicker and nicer and sturdier than the Hurricane mop. The one thing is this mop head, it feels a little more stringy and not as full as the others. So I don't know if the quality is not as good or if that's going to affect its mopping. And then again, you see with the hinge, it's kind of the same plastic thing. This is also a pretty big mop head, but like I said before, it seems a little less full and stringy. This is looking like 14 inches in the diameter. We have the bucket here, and this doesn't have that washer inside the bucket like some of the other ones do. So it's again like a bucket with the basket. And again, this bucket is not as nice as the Twist and Shout. It's a little bit thinner. It feels like you can see it kind of bending, and the handle, it might be okay, but it doesn't feel super sturdy. The thing I do like, it has this pour spout, so when you pour it out, that is a nice feature, so you're not making a mess. But let's check it out and see how it does. Alright, so you have to unlock it to spin it. Whoa. So I'm going to try that again because we had that little piece break off while I was spinning it. Oh no, that part fell off again. So I wonder if that's something that keeps happening. I will say that when you're drying it, this is probably the smoothest one. It feels nice and smooth, but this piece keeps popping off the bottom. And I actually wonder if we even need it, but that's not a good sign. On the dryness level though, I think this is doing a really good job. 10 being sopping wet, 1 being bone dry. I'm going to give this a 3. So that's a 3 for the Spin and Go Pro. This is the O-Cedar Easy Ring Mop. One of the things that first stood out to me when I opened it was this, the handle. It came in one piece and it's steel, so it feels really sturdy but a little bit heavy. And it has this really cool function of like the handle, and it telescopes out so you can adjust it to whatever your needs are. So that's a nice feature. Like all the others, this part is plastic, so we'll see how sturdy and durable that is over time. But this mop head is about 14 inches. One of the other things is this is, again, like the others, it doesn't have the washing machine thing in the water bucket, so it's just a bucket with the spin dry basket. It's got this plastic here, and this inside is plastic as well. The handle is pretty sturdy, but when it's full and you pick it up, it's kind of worrisome because it tilts a little bit. But I don't know, maybe you can carry it both ways. The other nice feature, it has kind of this pour spout, so when you're emptying it, it's a little bit better. And this one, also, like the Hurricane, is the foot spin. But I will say, just from that first part, this is much easier to use than the Hurricane, and it feels a little bit much better quality. So let's give it a try. So it looks like you have to unlock it to get, maybe you just... So one of the weird things about the O-Cedar mop was that it didn't come with any instructions, and when you put it in the spin part, you actually have to hold the handle loose because nothing spins, and that can kind of burn your hand. It's a little bit weird and awkward. The one thing that I really do like is this lip here. It kind of helps you guide all the mop strands and everything in. So let's give it a try and see how it goes. So this is like the Hurricane with the step. I don't think these spin as fast. They don't get it dry enough. This is the O-Cedar. This is pretty moist. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give this a 5. I don't know if I would use this. This is still pretty wet. So this is the MopNado. I think this is the most expensive one. The handle, it feels pretty sturdy. It comes in 3 pieces. This part is the extension, but this pretty much will work for anyone who's super tall. If we look here at the base, it's also plastic with the screw, but this one just looks a little bit bigger and beefier than the others, and the plate, they're plastic like all of them. If you look at the mop size, you're looking at about 14 inches as well. And what's neat about this one is you get this scrub brush that attaches under, so you take this part off and you put this scrub on, and then I guess it's for tile floors and anything maybe that's like stuck on there. So the MopNado is the biggest one. It has the most water capacity at 2.5 gallons. Some other features that it has is this soap dispenser here, and then this metal basket that none of the other mops really have. It also has the guard that kind of helps you guide in the mop, and then it's got a pretty sturdy handle. And something else that none of the other mops had was the wheels. So it also has this other, and you can wheel the mop around so you don't have to carry it because it's actually pretty heavy with all that water in there. The coolest feature of this mop is actually that it has this washing machine kind of thing in the water bucket part. So when you're mopping and you pick up dirty stuff, you can actually use this and kind of clean the mop off. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature. One other thing that some of the other ones had, it actually has this lock here. So when you're putting it in this part, it has to be unlocked, and then when you're mopping, you can either lock it or not. So let's see how dry it gets. So it's actually pretty dry. I would probably give this a 3. I think that what's nice about this mop is just that it's got so many features and it's really sturdy. I feel like this is kind of going to last for a while. So the first one on the left is the MopNado with the extension. As you can see, it's pretty much the tallest. The one after that is actually the Twist and Shout, and I also ordered the extension on that one. The one in the middle, the red, is the O-Cedar. And then the next one is the Spin and Go Pro. And then this last one here is the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop. Just so you guys can get a reference of if you're in case you're tall and you need something taller. So to compare all the mop heads, most of them are relatively the same size, but you can see that there's different qualities. The first one on the left here is the MopNado. And then this is the Twist and Shout. And then we have the O-Cedar. And then the Spin and Go Pro, that's the stringier one. You can see it's just not as full as the others. And then the last one here, that's the Hurricane Spin Mop. It's much smaller than the others. So it's nice to see them all kind of lined up together. I'm going to go from my least favorite to my most favorite and kind of point out all of the different things that I did or didn't like about it. This is the Hurricane Spin Mop. It's the smallest one as far as capacity goes. It's also, I think, the flimsiest. Doesn't feel like a quality product. The mop head is the smallest and the handle feels really loose, and it's actually the shortest one. And it also has that step, which when you use it, it shakes the entire bucket. So I think for the price and for what it is, this is something I wouldn't ever buy again. The O-Cedar bucket is actually a pretty good construction. I really like how they have the guard, and it's pretty sturdily built. I like the handle, how it has the telescoping, but I don't like that when you're spin drying it, you have to kind of hold it loose so that it can spin. That just seems like a weird design function. And to get the mop head really dry, you really have to step a lot, which seems like pretty dangerous and a lot of hard work when you're just trying to get your floor mopped and get on with your day. So this is the Twist and Shout. This one was pretty good. I think that it was pretty good. The handle construction was good. The mop bucket quality is good enough. I don't like the plastic that much because when you actually do spin dry, it wobbles. I don't think that the handle construction is very strong, but this is the second tallest one because you can get this optional extension here, so if you're taller, that might help. The other thing I really don't like is the lock. It's kind of cumbersome and difficult to use, and I wonder how durable it's going to be in the long run. For the Spin and Go Pro, the things that I didn't like were that the bucket, it seems rigid. I don't know how to explain it, but like if you were to hit it, it could crack. Other than that, it's pretty sturdy, sturdier than I thought. Smooth when you do the spin dry, much smoother than the Twist and Shout mop, which is why this is probably my second favorite. This mop handle has a cool little locking function, which I like, but the mop head on this is actually the least in quality. It's actually not the best one. And this part kind of worries me. It seems like it could be a little bit weak as far as quality and durability goes. And the biggest thing that I didn't like is actually the handle is the shortest out of all of them, and I don't know if there's an extension available for this. I would say the Mopnado here is my favorite. The biggest cons I see is that it doesn't actually have a pour spout, so when you're trying to dump out the water, it's a little bit difficult because it's also the biggest and has the most capacity. So that's a feature that maybe we could, ask the manufacturers to change. And then this one's the spin lock. It's a little bit cumbersome to use, but once you kind of get used to it, it becomes a rhythm. But it is one of my dislikes about this mop. As far as what I like I said, the quality, that washing machine function that it has, and this little soap dispenser, and the wheels. I mean, it just really has a lot of the other features that none of the other mops has. It gets the mop head really dry, and it's actually the tallest, so if I want to have someone else do my floors and they're tall, they're not going to be bending over. Again, it's just the Mopnado wins for quality and features.